I'm Devlin Steele, Director of Education at Augusta Precious Metals, and this is a Touchpoint Update. As always, remember to like this video and subscribe for future updates. At Augusta Precious Metals, we talk a lot about the mechanisms in the economy that tend to push the prices of gold and silver one way or the other, up or down. It's not always as simple as it sounds, of course. That's why we do these videos and send guides and talk with people who want to understand it. You need this information to understand gold and silver, and it's also important to understand the financial basis of this country, especially with what's happening right now. We all know we are in volatile times. Gold and silver have the capacity to thrive during periods of economic uncertainty. Metals aren't only good in periods of economic stress. They're also good as long-term core assets in anyone's portfolio. Lately, I've been seeing things in the marketplace that indicate some pretty influential people are seeing this value of precious metals for the long term. First, you may have noticed that some states are pushing for reserve funds to be able to be stored in gold. Tennessee is one of those states. Two committees voted unanimously to look into this. As FX Street reported, this could eliminate the risks inherent in using storage provided by Wall Street bullion banks, save money on storage fees, and create jobs. That might not be even the most important reason for a state to hold physical gold and silver in its own depository. U.S. Congressman Alex Mooney of West Virginia recently introduced a bill in Congress that questions the credibility of U.S. government auditing of its own gold stores. FX Street reports that the bill questions whether the Federal Reserve and the Department of Treasury have pledged, swapped, leased, or otherwise encumbered America's gold. If your state has its own store of gold to hedge against hard times, you don't have to worry about the U.S. government's stores of precious metals. In addition to the interesting development in states, there are studies that you should know about that show that some heavy hitters are taking gold and silver seriously these days. The first one I want to tell you about is Preqin, a data analytics firm. Their study found that 81% of people with savings expect to increase the amount of alternative assets like gold and silver that they hold in the next 4 years. Last year, the New York Times published a survey showing about half of all Americans have been seriously considering buying gold. Now we get to the stunning fact that I wanted to share with you today. It's actually two facts, the same number for two different groups. It was a combined effort of a firm called Greenwich Associates and the World Gold Council. Greenwich Associates, now called Coalition Greenwich, is part of a leading global analytics company, and the World Gold Council, or WGC, is an organization with offices in many major cities across the globe. It is the #1 global gold market authority. They did a survey of 500 institutional investors around the world. In other words, as Investopedia puts it, these are the whales of Wall Street. They often buy substantial blocks of assets. It's important to understand their opinions and follow their actions because they are often ahead of the market. In the Greenwich WGC study, a full 40% of institutional investors that do not own gold now are planning to, sometime in the next 3 years, and that's not all. Also, according to the study, Even institutional managers who do own gold now expect to increase their percentages in the next 3 years and by the same amount, 40%. After years of mainstream markets not taking precious metals seriously, or at the very least keeping quiet about it, this is big. Of course, recent developments can't guarantee any returns on the purchase of gold and silver. But it's pretty hard to ignore when such heavy hitters are thinking of gold as being in the mainstream. I like to see this trend being reported by the media publicly for everyone to see. Being in the gold and silver industry, I get to see these trends before they hit the news. The best information is what you can learn before it happens. The market volatility and trends that I see happening is the reason I stress people attending our web conferences. I told people in 2007, ahead of the housing bubble pop, and now I have data I want to share with you that you actually need to know today. Book your web conference. Your retirement is something you earned, and you want to make moves that will be the best for you and your family. You owe it to yourself to learn. This is Devlin Steele, Augusta Precious Metals, signing out. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check back often for more updates.